Konbanwa minasan, Phantom desu. Good evening, everybody. It's Phantom. We are here for more Satisfactory. And I'm here, of course, with Waffle. So, oh, you cut out some of the floor for the train. That's very nice of you. Alright, so what are we doing tonight? We did, so we've got aluminum casing, alclad aluminum sheets, copper ingots, and iron ingots, as well as coal, all going through the main bus. The next step would be deuterium and steel, and we need steel first because our steel is shut down completely. Correct. So, if we're going to do something, I would say let's do steel first. Then we can... Oh, we've also got silica and quartz crystals on the main bus. They're just not going all the way down. So I definitely want to do steel first, and then I think we could set up some dimensional... well, actually, we don't need to set up the dimensional depots at the hub. We need to set up the dimensional depots as an offshoot of the individual things here. And not so much for the ingots, because I don't think we use those in building much of anything. I think we mostly use the products that are made from those. Right. Right. I was just thinking more along the lines of the dimensional depots. So we're going to need those set up for not for the ingots and stuff, but for the like plates and bolts and stuff. Because those are used in actually building like buildings. Hold on. Okay, so steel ingots first, then we're gonna start making stuff with all the things that are on the main bus. Possibly not in the same area, because we have this huge area to deal with, and also because we can pull them off anywhere. So... steel. Where shall I put that? I think we're pretty full over here. Right. Also coffee. Oh god. That coffee is so good. Whole bean, foxtail coffee, midnight oil. It is the darkest of the dark coffee that Foxtail offers, and it is delicious. I gotta say, the French roast tastes burnt a lot of the time. But something that's dark without being that dark is really good. It has so many... The one thing I don't like about coffee is when it's too acidic. And the citrus of fruity notes make it taste acidic. Like it's got something in there that I don't want in my stomach. Right here. Yeah, the coal is like right here. There's a little, the belt for it ends over here. It's coming up, I think. I don't know if it's coming up there or if it's coming up over here. It actually comes up out of the floor down at this end. Maybe. Might be underneath here. I don't remember exactly. But the coal is right here on this end of the conveyor belt. So we could do the steel right over here, right next to the silica and quartz crystals. And that would be very easy. Let's see, what steel recipe are we actually going to go with? So we're not using any of the alternates? Which would be the coke steel. Yeah. I'm not sure where it's coming from, but... Right here. Let me know how much total we've got coming in with the iron ore, because if we need to, I could upgrade this. We're doing the leached iron ingots. It's really efficient. And making our own sulfuric acid on site too. And this makes 50 per minute times 3, so 150 per minute. Oh. Well, that can be upgraded. These are making, or sorry, these are using 6 per minute times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 times 6 per minute sulfuric acid. Oh, they're all down to 60% production, by the way. They're all at only 60% clock speed. And it's 6 times 8. So we're oh. Ah. Do I have this somewhere else? I do. Excuse me. It's also going over here, which is using 50 per minute. And another 50 per minute of sulfuric acid. So actually we're at capacity for sulfuric acid because of the other uses I'm putting this to. Now if I have enough sulfur incoming, I can expand it out one more machine. This is honestly where having a notepad is so 480. Because 6 times 8 is 48. How much sulfur is coming in from this long ass conveyor belt that's coming all the way out from here? That is a good question. I think the sulfur's coming in on the train is well, I was going to be more efficient about making the, more efficient about making the iron ingots that go into the steel, rather than using steel, or rather than using iron ore and coal, use the steel, the iron ingots and coal. We could do that. Right. Well, I checked the sulfur, and it looks like it's coming in from a train. So it really depends on if we can get 200 throughput from one train car. If 200 throughput from one train car is not possible, then... Huh? Well, I think it's taking from... I don't know where it's taking from, honestly. Yeah. Doesn't show real lines. But the only sulfur that's actually been claimed is that pure node up there, I think. I don't think any other sulfur on the map has been claimed. So, it's got to be coming from this, which is probably being piped down to the old coal power plant and then being run up by train, which is a really short distance. And if that's a pure node with a Mark II on it, then it's going to do probably 480, right? Or at least 240. And 200 is really all we need. So. Right. That's the thing. I'm not sure how much I've diverted into... Well, no, if I diverted half, which I think I did, then we have enough. We can try it. We can just try it and see if it works. Basically, all I need to do is change how this pipe works and put the sulfur, pump up the sulfur acid production. To get full throughput out of these iron ingot things. Hold on a second. One of these is 100%. The others are 60. That one did not properly take my customizations apparently. Good to know. These are all at 60 per minute when they could be at 100 per minute. And this is 60 per minute times 8 of these things. I mean... With this setup doing 480 ingots per minute, do we really need to worry about making a whole nother production? Can we just pull from this? So, yeah, we don't need to do that whole setup. We can just move. Yeah. I don't see that much of a problem with that, considering we're probably only going to need 250 240 steel or 240 iron, because of the amount of things we have that can be made from either steel or iron. We have a ton. Yeah. 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 Okay. So you're going to take care of the... So you're going to take care of the iron, or you're going to take care of the steel production and bring that into the bus. Meanwhile, I will start pulling iron off of the bus and make little factories for things like pipes and screws and such. So all I'm gonna need is like advice on how much of everything I'm gonna want. I'm gonna be setting up to put these on the main bus. So okay. 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 So what you're saying is I should do something like I should go for like the fused modular frame and work down making heavy and regular modular frames, as well as all the intermediate products, just pulling in all of the raw materials I need and making dimensional depots for the lower tier modular frames, and perhaps have a separate area that just does a small amount of the intermediate products that are used to build things like actually build the buildings, because those all use plates and bolts and stuff like that. So I want to have a little bit of that being produced and put into the dimensional depot, but that doesn't need to be a very high output. It can be like one machine working at 50% efficiency. Right. Right. So... Okay, so what I'll do is... I think just to get my feet wet, I'm going to do that, the intermediate storage for dimensional. Because it has been 2 weeks. Instead of starting off with, let's do all the modular frames. Let's start off with, let's just make all of the intermediate products and put them in the dimensional depot. Because I do have a whole lot of nice little raw materials here, like the copper ingots. So, I think I'll just do that. So, what do copper ingots get me to? Ingots become... But what's copper powder? Oh. Ground up copper ingots. The natural high density of copper combined with the granularity of the power mix is perfect for producing nuclear pasta. Oh. Okay. Did not know that was a thing. Good to know that I'm going to need copper ingots for that in mass. Because it requires 30 to make 5. And then it needs 200 to make 1 from the nuclear pasta. Seriously. So much waste. So, copper is used in wire, sheets, quick wire, fuse quick wire, that is. Okay, change of plans. I'm going to get Caterium up and running while you're doing steel, because I need Caterium for the copper stuff. I believe I also have Caterium coming in from that train. If not, it's right there on the waterfall. And no, it is not coming in from the train. That is Sam, that is the other thing coming in from that train. So I can easily just bring Caterium over here. How are we treating that? Caterium ingot. We have recipes for pure and leached, which is going to be far more efficient. But I worry about... Let's see, this is where I end up going to do one thing and then do another and then do a different one and then do a different one. I'm worried about needing more sulfur than we're bringing in. And there's 3 nodes right over here. So I'm thinking that I could go to where I've got the rock quartz, tack on another car, and bring that over here. In the train. So I'm gonna ride out to where the quartz is being loaded. Grab those 3 sulfur nodes and pipe them over to the same station. And have them loaded onto the last train car. There's currently only 3 cargo cars, so I'm going to have to deconstruct the train and make it a 4th cargo car. Okay, that's gonna be annoying. The best way for me to do this is going to be for me to actually move the train, move the station out one further. I'm not sure it'll fit. So I've got this big, stupid rock. I'm almost positive I can't blow this up. Nope. I'm stuck with it. So, can I put another train station on here? Technically I can. It's clipping a lot. Do I care? No. Alright. Yeah, this looks ugly, but I don't care. I have to wait for the train to come back. When it comes back, I will stop it and reconfigure it a bit. Okay, let's just let my human eat while I was waiting on it. Alright. Break right here. Slightly. I really miss Japan sometimes. I think about this mostly when I'm watching something like Kamen Rider. Because of just how insane these shows are, and the marketing and the toys and stuff. It's like kind of like how things like Power Rangers and Digimon were in the States, I guess, but it's just the product, like, integration is just everywhere. They have a movie, and they have toys, and they have this, and they have that. And it's not uncommon to see someone getting, like, a replica toy sword from Kamen Rider, and they're not a child. They're not a parent buying it for their child. Which is a million adult fan who likes the series that much. It's not something you show off at work, but certainly something you have at home. My human has been watching Kamen Rider O's. Which is at the same time silly and terrifying. So, like, what would you think if I told you that the series was about human greed? I mean, like, monsters literally being made out of and feeding on human greed. And they portray the people who are the, quote, victims of this as absolutely deserving it because of their own, like, inability to control their desires. And of course, the writer doesn't want to just let them suffer to it. They want to, give them a chance to change, especially after having gone through something so traumatic as a monster crawling out of their chest. Yeah, but also, and again, this is also part of the course. I could tell you that honestly that the one of the main characters is the CEO of a company and makes birthday cakes and has Happy Birthday playing sung by a very I guess passable Japanese person singing it in English. Passable. Maybe, depending on your definition. Nor should you be. But it's incredibly weird in others. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Huh? It's very odd. Okay. It's a very odd graphical glitch there, but it's resolved. So yeah, there's that, and there's the weird scientist guy who can't talk without having a very creepy doll on his shoulder, or rather on his arm, kind of like a hawk perching there. The actor, I swear, must have like triceps of steel, sorry, to be able to hold his arm out like that for that long. I mean, literally, the entire time he's on screen is that his arm is straight out to his side with that on it. It does not have to be heavy for that to be difficult. You just have to hold. If you're holding it for any period of time, it becomes very uncomfortable. So. Alright, so we got 60, 120, and 240. So 180 plus 240. $420? Yeah, that's 420. Okay. So we need a Mark III for this one alone. Need a conveyor merger. This is the 60, I think. Yeah. Oh, and I forgot to mention the most important part about O's. Even the main, like, companion character, partner character to the writer, is a complete asshole. Because he's also one of the greed, and yes, it's spelled with 3 E's. For some reason. So he's also one of these demons that feeds on human greed. I mean, why are you letting somebody like that help you out? I guess it's more of like a freelance adventurer attitude towards something rather than a paladin attitude towards something. Because a paladin attitude would be like, oh, evil, attack. No concern about whether you can come to an accommodation with them or anything. Just, oh, you're evil, attack. So I kind of appreciate the lack of crusaderness on that aspect, but at the same time, when he repeatedly gets treated like he does, I'm like, okay, look, I know you've gotten a good, jab at him once in a while, and he's not like completely happy with the situation he's in, but at the same time, are you really just gonna let him be like that with you? At some point, you're gonna get tired of his bullshit. We'll see. We're like 10 episodes in. This is already pretty good. Interestingly, it's not like the Super Sentai format where everything is like resolved within that episode and there might be like two-parters. This has a much more frequent multi-part, like, continuity of storyline. Which I'm impressed with. Mark 5, go down there. And now we have some leaves going here. Perfect. Maybe I should have gone with the train this time. I'll go next time. Quick BRB to let my human finish his tacos. And I'm back. Man, that coffee is good. It's interesting. It didn't pick up the... Did they change how trains pick up cargo? no. I saw the crane, instead of going inside the thing and picking up a container and then putting that inside the cargo, it picked up the whole box, put it over the cargo car, and then put it back. I remember, like, if I'm standing on the thing, it will reach in and pick up a container, which will then go over to the okay. Okay, so it was dragging the car over the station. Okay. Oh, this is not set to unload. This is set to load. Damn. Okay, I've got to wait for another car cycle. Another train cycle to see the transfer rate coming in. Ha, derailed. We're talking about all the trains. Speaking of trains, the other tokusatsu that we're not getting enough of is the Lupin Ranger versus Pat Ranger, or as we've taken to calling it, versus Sentai. And that one has a train in it. Because the French undercover agent, Noel, is his Zord is a train. Yeah. And the cool thing about him is that he can swap between being part of the police force and being part of the Phantom Thieves force. He just switches. He has his the train is like double-ended, so he can he does like a full revolution. Turns it completely around. So if it's facing out with the gold part, he'll turn it around to the silver and then turn it back to the gold, and then do the morphing, and that will be his police version, whereas the silver is the Lupin Ranger version. And it's just really interesting. He's a lovely character. At first, nobody was sure what to think of him, and now he's just like, yeah, I work with the Phantom Thieves, but I'm also part of the global police. Deal with it. Oh, also the best part about Noel is that he's actually the tech guy. Okay, so this is only coming in at 56 items per minute, apparently. That's not great. It's got 2 stops. That's probably what's slowing it down. So, it's picking up the SAM as well as the quartz and sulfur. I'm tempted to change the timetable. And then to add like 2 stops. Like, basically, it'll only stop and pick up SAM every 3rd time. Because we don't use that much SAM. And I don't anticipate us needing a whole ton of it on a regular basis, constantly. So, I'm going to have it only do, stop there once every 3rd time it goes by. And every other is going to be just down to the quartz and sulfur and back. But at the same time, I'm going to be careful and currently, until I can get a better idea of what I'm able to throughput with that, I'm only going to bring in... I'm only going to use 50 of the sulfur. Honestly, the only way I could think of to increase this would either be to make a 2nd train, or to have multiple cars bringing in the sulfur. Because each trip is going to take the same amount of time no matter how many cars it loads and unloads. But I don't have any more room to add more cars to the station over at the other end. I was already pushing it as I'd have to like move the entire station and all of the existing freight platforms out. Oh, well, now it's saying 265 items per minute. So I might be able to put like 3 blenders down there. Is that blenders? No, it's refineries. It's refineries. It's just sulfur and water. And so for every 50 sulfur, I need 50 water. So I'm going to do 200. I'm going to need 200. Alright. I'm going to do some calculations. Alright, so I've got 150 water per minute being used here. an extra 40 here. So that's 190. Going by what the valve is doing. In fact, it might be a good idea for me to take valve, put it right here. I'm gonna do 150. So that way I can just look at the valves and see what each line is taking in the future. I don't have to calculate it by the machines. I can just look at the valves. And if I change the machines, I can change the valves. Easy. So that's 190. Plus 20, so it's 120, or 220, or 210, bleh. 210. Alright, and these I'll use 10 per minute, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 80, so we're at 290. And this is going to need a valve. So we have 290 total used. How much actual are we getting in? I think I configured this so that we have a full 600 per minute coming in, which would require 10 water extractors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. We got 10 water extractors working. We got so we got 600 cubic meters of water per minute coming through this little water tower up here. So it means I easily have enough to pull 200 off. That'll make it 490 total used. And that would allow me to create a full, like, I think it's 50 and 50 into 50. So it would be 200 sulfuric acid per minute, which would feed not only the leached deuterium it gets with 50 per minute, but also have 150 extra that we can put in a tank for storage and then run batteries off of. Because we're eventually going to need a set of batteries for production automation. So that would allow me to have 150 extra for that. And batteries will require, well, if I want to do classic batteries, I don't actually need to make the acid. And that is a thing to consider because it's actually produces faster. Okay. Wow. Yay for batteries. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So I think I know what I'm going to do for Caterium then. The least Caterium ingot requires... Oh, actually, it only requires 30 per minute, not 50. So... 82? No. 84? Too much. 83.333. Perfect. Okay. So... $24... 25 per minute, rather, the sulfuric acid. So that would be 1 into 2. And it would produce a total of 60 per minute Caterium ingots. How much Caterium do you think we're going to need? I can probably hit 120 pretty easily. It's 3 to 2. So we can do 3 to 2 or 2 to 1. Right? Right? I mean, I could set up 10 refineries, all making Caterium ingots with the pure recipe. And I only need 240 water, which I'm already considering taking 200 for the sulfur. So I belted in all the sulfur for nothing, really. Yeah, there might be other things that it's used for. I mean, look at this. It's used for non-fissile uranium. It's used for an alternate for fertile uranium. Yeah, sulfuric acid is used for a lot. So I think turning all 200 of that into sulfuric acid might be a good idea. But I don't need to do that right now. I need to set up Caterium right now. Well, don't do that yet, because I'm not actually setting up the sulfuric acid yet. I'm not even setting that up. I'm gonna set up Caterium. And the only thing I need for that is gonna be water and Caterium ore. Because I'm gonna go with that recipe. I'm gonna do that in this quadrant over here. Leaving me room for the blenders over on the other side. Or refineries for the... It's not a blender for the acid. Alright. One. Alright. 2. 3. Uh-oh. We're not making industrial beams or copper sheets, are we? I'm out. Yeah, I'm out. I'm going to handcraft a whole bunch. Because I have a bunch of copper ingots in my inventory, I'm just going to use them up. And having industrial beams I can make as well. The only thing is the copper sheets I'm going to need more. I don't have enough to make 10 refineries. I have enough to make 2 more. So that's halfway there. I hate to handcraft too much when we've already got more efficient recipes. It's not steel that I need, it's the copper sheets. I need another 100 copper sheets. Yeah. If I had 200, or sorry, if I had one more 100 copper sheets, I could finish this whole thing. Because I'd have just enough industrial beams, but not enough copper sheets. And that would let me make 10 refineries for Caterium. We'd be done with Caterium and I can move on to intermediate products. The first of which is going to be the damn copper sheets. So let me grab a bunch of copper ingots from the machines. Because it's not efficient for me to handcraft it, but it'll be faster than stopping and setting up the copper. Like 2 less than what I need. Are we good now? 95. I've got 10. Good. We're good. So I'm going to pound through all these copper sheets, get a refill on my coffee, and I'll be right back. And I'm back. Yeah, I was just thinking the tink 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 of hammers is is nice music. Well, you know, one of the best songs in Final Fantasy XIV is also has the tink of hammers. The original 1.0 theme for Limsa Lominsa. Yeah. We have that in game. We have the music sheet for it in game, which you can only get. You can only get it from treasures. You have to do treasure maps, and it's like, I think when we looked at it, it was like 200 to 300k if you wanted to buy a copy, which, granted, people in that game have tens or hundreds of millions of gil. The economy is nuts. But then there are a ton of people who are like, you have 1 million? I never have more than, seriously, the easiest way to make gil in that game is to not spend gil in the first place. Don't spend gil on teleports. Just farm up Centurio seals, get a whole ton of Aetheryte tickets, and you'll never pay for a teleport in your life. And you will be shocked at how much money you save up. Because it is, over a month of playing the game, you will probably save up a couple $100,000 just from doing roulettes and stuff, because you're not spending any gil. You're removing the main gil sink that they do to keep the economy under control. So smart people avoid that entirely. And then, of course, they come up with better gil sinks. There's a mount that we've been tempted to get. That's a gil sink mount. It's your own personal electrope motorcycle, which, when you go into flight mode, the wheels split and it becomes a quad hover bike. It is one of the sweetest rides I've seen in the game. And I put the wrong recipe in here. We're not doing bleached. We're doing pure. Okay. Let's recopy that. But seriously, that is a really sweet ride, and I've wanted to be able to use that, but just as we were considering actually doing it, because we have enough gil that we could do that and also still have enough for a medium house, what does Yoshi P do? But he says, hey, we're going to be putting something in the game where you can buy a bigger interior and TARDIS your house. Excuse you? Okay, then. I guess we're not buying a new house. We're a medium house. We're buying a large house. You pay the difference between your... Well, and this is a money thing because it takes it out of the game entirely. Because what it does is you get charged the difference between your current house's interior and the size of the interior that you want. So if a normal house is like 6 million gil, and a medium house is like 20 million gil, and a large house is 40 million gil, you're paying 34 million gil into the game, and it just goes into the abyss. Removed from the economy permanently. That's a really big gil sink, man. And it doesn't cost them any more, much more server space either, because it only loads the interior when someone's actually inside. So they don't have to worry about it killing the game's servers, because you're not loading that all the time. Which is why the Mog House from Final Fantasy XI is objectively a better housing system than what they've done for 14. And I say that fully aware that some people would hate me for saying that, but I'm sorry, it's true. Shit. I just realized copper sheets use pipes. I'm just gonna make the copper sheets now. I'm done squirting around. I'm sorry. Copper there. Copper sheets. Yes, we have steamed copper sheets. Which is going to require water. Okay. So, unfortunately, that requires a refinery. Fortunately, I made 10 of them, so I can just disassemble one temporarily. So I'm gonna disassemble like 4 of them, 5, because that's how many I'm probably gonna need. What are copper sheets used in? AI limiters, circuit boards, copper rotors, heat sink. Used in heat sinks. Alternate silicon circuit board. You know, there's so many things that are man. Okay. I have a problem with the concept of not putting copper sheets on the bus. Because making intermediate recipes on demand sounds like a good idea until you realize that some of them are quite complicated when you get into the alternate recipes, and piping water all around just to be able to make steamed copper sheets on demand is not fun, and making the regular copper sheets is 50% as efficient. Do we want to be less efficient and do it slower? Or do we want to just put it on the freaking bus? Well, what I can do is I can build the copper sheets right here, and we can kind of see how it goes. Uh-huh. Right, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set this, these refineries up right here for the steamed copper sheets. I think I'm going to set them up over toward this end, actually. But are we doing that recipe for circuit boards? Are we using that recipe, or are we using an alternate for circuit boards? Okay. Am I more clear this time? Okay. Are we using that recipe for circuit boards, or are we using a different one? Because we have the recipe for Caterium circuit boards, which require plastic and quick wire. And quick wire is very easy to manufacture because we have the fused quick wire recipe, which produces 90 per minute from a single Caterium ingot for the recipe. 7.5 Caterium per minute. 37.5 copper ingots. Makes 90 per minute quick wire. And so if we were to use the Caterium circuit board recipe, it wouldn't be as fast as the silicon circuit boards, but it would require 0 copper sheets. So I'm more inclined to do that and make fused quick wire on demand at the place we're going to make circuit boards, and then do plastic. Perhaps. Yeah. We also have the recipe for Caterium computers, which also uses quick wire. The same has circuit boards as a regular computer, but 0 plastic. Instead, it uses 6 rubber, which is a lot less petroleum total than 16 plastic. Yeah. But rubber and plastic are both made from petroleum. And this is a heck of a lot less rubber, and they're made at the same speed. Plastic and rubber are made at the same efficiency from what I remember when I set up the original factory for it. So they're equivalent as far as difficulty of production. So we may as well just go with the one that uses less petroleum total, which I think in this case is going to be circuit boards for Caterium circuit boards. Because it's the same amount actually. It's 10 plastic, 6 rubber instead of 0 plastic and there's 0 plastic or rubber and then 16 plastic. So it's, unless we want to build crystal oscillators. So the oscillator one, I agree with you. I just, ugh. It is, and it's still going to require circuit boards anyway. So fair. Yeah. Well, either way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull some copper off the line here. Back. or maybe over here and then pull it back here, and put the 5 refineries back here. And these will be able to eat up. I was going to underclock them just slightly to make things add up easier. What recipe am I doing? Steamed copper sheet. If I put it at 88.89%, it will use up exactly 20 copper ingots and water per minute and produce 20 copper sheets. Times 5, that's 100 copper sheets per minute. And that should be plenty. Even if we did want to use the recipe for circuit boards that uses 11. Let's see. There. Okay, so that's the overclocking percent I would want if I was going to make it even. We'd have 3 assemblers making circuit boards, consuming 100, or 5 assemblers consuming 20 copper sheets per minute each. And that would take 100 copper sheets and turn them all into circuit boards. So we could even this out and just use silicon and copper sheets if we wanted to, with this current setup. So what I'm gonna do. Oh, crud. I forgot. For steamed copper sheets, I need copper sheets. So I am going to have to disassemble the other refineries because I need the sheets. I'm sorry, guys. I need your body. I need your parts. That got real dark real fast. So pipeline over here. And then T-junctions. Here, here. Empty with some despair. Alright, another pipeline here. Pipeline, the valve. It's going to limit it to 100 per minute. Alright. I need to remove this conveyor belt. Put on a conveyor splitter. There's Mark 4 that goes in there, and here. Splitter. Okay, there we go. That works. I love the advanced building tactics that I've been learning. With these splitters, the way that works. You can hat the lifts with splitters. That makes them so much more convenient for stuff like this. Uh-oh. Yeah. Coming into the depot. Yeah. Well, hopefully I can fix that soon. Okay. So at the moment, I'm going to go ahead and logistics. No, organization. Dimensional depot. I want industrial storage. Here? Yeah. Well, I can be more space efficient with this. More compact. Just put it here. And take a dimensional depot. Stick that on top, facing that way. And these are only producing 20 per minute times 5, which is 100. So I only need a belt, a Mark II belt outpost. Mark II in here. Mark II over here. And then Mark I's everywhere else. There. Now, that should work. Alright, we now have copper sheets being uploaded into the Dimensional Depot at a rate of 100 per minute. We can definitely split off of that line if we need to. And there's plenty of room to build and make more stuff. Plenty of room to build more stuff out here if we want to use this refinery space and these copper sheets here for something else. There's plenty of room to expand the operation out here too. But for right now, this allows me to make more refineries. The only problem is, it seems like the encased industrial beams are also very much at a premium right now. Oh dear. How many industrial beams do you need to upgrade to Mark IV? Ugh. Correct, which is what I'm making. Oh, a 780 belt. Okay. Okay. Wow. We just need to deliver the sulfur down there. Yes. I'm reminded of something on how to drink now. Where he says something tasted like battery acid. And he's like, don't look at me like I know what that tastes like. Why would I ever tasted battery acid? And there's like editing. Greg put in a bunch of different bottles just appearing. Just anyway. But yeah, he had a bit where he edited in a whole bunch of bottles of battery acid around the bar. Just one after another, after another, after another. It was kind of funny. Okay, so I've got the refineries back up here, and we're going to be doing pure deuterium ingots. And we are doing them at full capacity, so we will be making 120 per minute deuterium. And we'll be using almost none of it, at least not for quick wire. But that's okay. We'll be using a ton of copper for the quick wire, only a little bit of deuterium. Oh, your microphone is good because I don't hear them. I heard that one. To cat is to sass. And I've been talking about all the stuff that we've been watching on YouTube. You know, Extra History. They're doing a series on cats. The history of cats. And I like the fact that the first episode is tells something to the effect of history's best murder machines, or best little furry murder machines, because that's what they were about. Like, it's like, we're hunting mice. These people seem to like letting us have our mice, so we're just gonna move right in for easy meals. And they never stopped just moving themselves in for an easy meal throughout the rest of history. It's the only reason that I don't get along with cats, because they don't seem to do anything useful aside from, you know, what the heck? Why am I not able to use the hotbar to grab a pipeline? It's weird. It would not let me get a pipeline. It wouldn't let me use my hotkeys at all. Okay. And I think this is going to use 240 water. Yeah, 24 times 10. Okay. No biggie. Oh dear. No, don't do that. I don't know where that was connecting to, but that's not what I wanted. Bye. Is there something in this game where you can write on a sign? I think I might want to install that mod. Should be a mod for that if there's not. Okay. I will check that out. That was a very good one. That was not overdone. My human is getting better at his Norwegian accent. The only practice he's got with Norwegian is watching Martina from Nerdforge. she's very good English, but you can hear the Norwegian in the way that she pronounces certain syllables and certain consonants, and it's not bad. It doesn't make her hard to understand. It's just it's very clear that there's a non like native American or English accent to her speech, and he's trying to copy that for a character in the Pathfinder game on Saturday, who is a dragon, and he wanted to give her an accent that would be distinct from other characters. And I was like, well, what if she learned how to speak common in Oria, which is essentially Norway and all the other Nordic countries. I don't know, is Nordic the correct, like, catch-all term for those countries up there? Like, the whole area where there used to be Vikings. Yeah, that whole area is like, that's Oria. Anyway, why did I come over here? Right, awesome shop. Let's print the 23 coupons we can print. And then open the shop. Label sign bundle and display sign bundle. Cost 7 tickets. Not much.
Where did you leave your lizard doggos? What's in this storage container? Where did you put the essential components needed to save humanity? Do you wish there was text to prevent you from constantly taking the wrong turn? Disguise your struggles to comprehend the complexity of your surroundings with signs.
Ada. You never cease to be infuriating. Did you get that message too? No, Ada. When I bought the thing. Oh. Pity. That was actually a pretty clever one. Wrong lever! Alright. 80 plus 100, that's 180. Plus 20 is 200. Plus 150 is 350. Plus 240 is 590. Oh dear. Plus 40 is 630. So unfortunately, that is over the amount of throughput I can provide currently. So we are 30 over. Mm-hmm. Oh dear, why is my bitrate gone to shit? Something necessary for streaming. Alright, so I'm gonna have to knock these down. I need to save 30 water per minute. The easiest way for me to do this would be to remove 2 of those things over there. Well, 3 of them. The refinery is making the deuterium. Well, I have 2 of them. Or just throttle them all down a little bit. Limited to 210. Let's see, 210 divided by 10 is 21. So the question is, how do I get it to be... Seven, 8, 87.5. There we go. 87.5% underclocked for all of these. Then I don't have to change the amount of machines I'm using. I don't have to change the piping. I don't have to change anything. I just have to be aware that these could go faster if I had more water production. And then I'm going to have to run another set of pipes and pumps, because if I need water for anything else in the factory now, we are at capacity. So I need to make more. Or just not use water. Alright, now we're ready for the deuterium. And very simply, I'm going to put conveyor splitters here. sections. And this is going to require a total of 210 Caterium ore coming in, which is a Mark III belt. I can downgrade to Mark II here. One. The Mark 1 belt's going into the machines the whole way down. It's only taking 21 for each. There we go. Now I need to actually grab the Caterium ore. Which thankfully is going to be very easy, because it's right here. And this is a pure node, so what comes out of here is going to be 140 per minute, more than we need. If it were running, but it's not running. So let's make it run. Conveyor belt. Along the bottom. And we want it to come out right about here. Okay. Ferrin War has been linked. So all we have to do is power this stuff. Cool. That's not like off track. Alright, so this is going to be slightly less than 120 per minute. It's going to be 105 per minute. Is it the manager? Oh no, we are not Monster Hunter. We do not need to start with that stuff. Exactly. Yes. Alright, so I've got Caterium ingots done. Thankfully. Which means I can start really working with I can really start working with sub-recipes. I think I might be warmed up enough to do something big. Now the question is, what would be most helpful right now? Do you want me to start working on bigger recipes like the entire tree of modular frame? Or Okay. And I'm assuming you want me to start with steel. Okay. The one in the middle of the base is overcrowded, that's for sure. Nope, there is not. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm sorry that you're having problems. There is the possibility, you can sloop those, right? Oh, but you can overclock them? Okay, so here's an idea. First off, let's upgrade all of these pipeline Mark 1s. Where? So first of all, I have all of these throttled slightly, or probably you did. Have all of these slightly throttled to either a little bit under or a little bit over with a power shard. So, depending on what this goes to, we may not need them anymore. I'm going to follow these and see where they lead. I bet anything this goes to aluminum. And aluminum is no longer being processed over here. That is correct. There are still raw resources over here that need to be picked up. But we are not using any of these machines to produce anything anymore. So, I'm going to pick up all of this piping all the way back so that I can show you visually exactly which ones are free. I'm surprised that they are still going, that they're not full already. At least not right now, because we're not working around irradiated stuff constantly, 24/7. If we had... Yes. That's what I was preparing for. I am not sure that I I think I just left them as regular filters because I handcrafted the iodine filters. Alright, so... So you have 3 water extractors. This one over here, and then these 2 over here that have no pipes in them. Those are no longer being used. They were being used for the whatchamacallit? The aluminum. They were going to aluminum. We can use them for stone. I have a random hard drive in my inventory. I tried doing that earlier on purpose, and it didn't work. I tried to on purpose. Do you have any right now? Okay. That's probably why it didn't work before, because you had it by accident, and you put it back in. And we are just saving the steel rotor and pure quartz crystal recipes because we don't necessarily want either of them. Okay. I'm going to leave that there, analyze this hard drive, and we'll come back in 10 minutes to see what we get. Delicious foxtail coffee. You know what else is delicious, and I'm really hoping that the calorie count I heard is not true. Have you heard of 7 Brew? I'm not surprised, because they're a competitor to Starbucks and you live in Washington. But, to be fair, but we have 3 right around here. 2 of them are on the same road. Like 5 minutes apart in heavy traffic. And I know why. Because one of them is designed to catch everybody on the way northbound onto the highway. The other is designed to catch everyone southbound onto the highway. So, you're passing by one whichever way you go. There's only one Starbucks, though. So... it's not. Yes. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's entirely the reason. Because I've had some drinks made by the local Starbucks, and they're actually pretty good. Like, the baristas actually seem to know what they're doing. But then again, they're not making real coffee drinks. They're making frou-frou coffee drinks. The real coffee drinks are the ones that are like, you know, a cortado or a... what do you call the thing that's in coffee talk they call it a black lemon, but that's not what it's really called. It's black lemon. It's not what it's really called. There's, I think, an Italian word for it, but it's a coffee with lemon. It's an espresso shot with lemon. Yes, it is a thing, but that's not what they call it. I don't think. It might translate to that. But it's stuff like that, or a cappuccino, where it's following the actual definition of a cappuccino. Or a macchiato, which is actually, I think it's like espresso shots. An equal amount. It's one of those, either the cappuccino or the macchiato, is an equal amount of espresso, milk, and foam. It's like a 1-1-1 ratio. But like, for them, a cappuccino is usually something with caramel. A macchiato is something with caramel. A cappuccino is just, I don't know, because they also have latte, which is just milk and like there is actual, like, the definition of a latte actually is about 8 ounces of milk steamed and a double shot of espresso, and they follow that pretty well. But that's like one coffee drink out of a dozen that use steamed milk and coffee in some fashion. And a lot of the ones that they sell that are made the same way as the latte are not actually meant to be made that same way. Okay, hold on a sec. Looking? Honestly, that's really hard to notice. It's visible. Yeah, our capacity is still significantly over our mass consumption. A good 1,000 megawatts, which is not bad. Damn, okay. Well, as soon as you get that over to me, I'll be able to, put up some, good. You know what? Since it really doesn't matter where I put it, I'm gonna actually go over in this direction and use up some of the space that I haven't touched yet over here. Okay. But circling back to what I was saying, the calories on the Smooth 7 as a large, I really hope it's not 800, because that's kind of egregious. But still, I wouldn't totally be surprised, because it is a very sweet drink with a lot of cream, and basically it's like it's an Irish cream drink. It's coffee and Irish cream, non-alcoholic, but yeah, it's designed to be like, if you wanted to have a non-alcoholic version of an Irish cream with Baileys in it. And it's absolutely delicious. Okay, so what do we make with steel ingots? Let's try and plan this out. Steel ingot creates steel beams and steel pipes. alternate for molded beam, alternate for molded steel pipe, alternate for steel rod. So I can use the concrete. I can use the molded beam and molded steel pipes with the wet concrete and get huge gains. We have. Haven't we? I thought I put it over here at the end. Did I not set that up? I could have sworn I did. No freaking way. So I'm gonna have to make a whole nother thing for the wet concrete with lots and lots of water. Why? Okay. Okay, but bear with me a moment. I do believe I have limestone right here. I'm using the limestone in here to blend and create silica from the dissolved silica. So I already have limestone at this end. The question is, how much do I have? That looks really funny. Look, the guy's being attacked. There's warning triangles everywhere. So actually I have 180 limestone. They are Mark II miners. There's an impure and a normal out here. And so the normal, yeah. I have a Mark II on an impure, yeah. And, yeah. Well, hold on, I need to see how much I'm using. I'm using 100 of that. So I only have 80 left. Yeah. Indeed. And we have the belts to handle that. Alright, well, I'll convert the conveyor lift here to a Mark V. Drop a splitter on its head. Yeah. Alright, I have reset the production, so this now has a splitter on it. I'm going to go underneath and switch the belts all to 5. So if you want to just tack on that stuff, you can do so. Mark 5. Mark 5. Mark 5. No, not Mach 5, Mark 5. No transmog. Much as I wish we had the transmog system in FF14. Alright. Where are you planning on bringing in the limestone? Where are you planning on feeding the limestone? So if you were, can you reverse belts? Okay. So if you could basically reverse this belt going back the way it came, then I can connect it to where I'm putting the limestone into, and it'll be fine. It might be less complicated than running a new belt all the way, especially if I help. So this is the point at which this little mini bus was connected in to do that. So I will correct. And that actually stayed connected, which was interesting. I'm probably going to take it as a Mark V all the way from the merger. Just in case. Unless you don't want me to. Unless you want me to keep it Mark IV until we add the extra 2. Yeah. We shouldn't need that much throughput, but if we ever overclock any of those, we're going to. I can actually fly right alongside these. This is cool. My sprint flying is as fast as the Mark V conveyor belt. Okay, please get out of the way, Tick. Thank you. All right. Now we have as much as I can imagine getting in there. Did you calculated how much total we were gonna get, right? $780. That's a lot. So it's gonna be 680 after we subtract what I'm using for the silica. So I have 680 to play with for making the wet concrete. Alright. Oh, but I need to make some new water thingies. Eesh. Alright, so 680 divided by 120. 5.6 repeating machines. So 680 divided into 6 machines. Would be trying to use roughly 113 limestone per minute. Okay. Perfect. Okay. I'm gonna leave that there. So we got 94.44% on 6 different machines. And this is going to be made in a refinery. More freaking refineries. Yay. It fits perfectly. Alright. Which one do we need to belt in? That one? Okay. Yep. Join that one in as best you can, and in the meantime, I am already in the process of making the stuff for but yeah. Brain fart. I'm already in the process of creating the production line. Concrete. This is going to need a Mark II belt. I actually don't want that. Because we're splitting it down here. wet concrete is half set up, the other half is getting the water. So I'm going to need to do a connection to water extractor. How much water do I need? Concrete. I'm gonna need a dedicated line of 600. That's terrible. That's an insane amount of water. You're right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know what I really miss most about Japan? The availability of cassis and drinks. You don't get that over in this country. I don't know what it is. There's something about black currants that messes with some agriculture in the US that is really important and absolutely cannot coexist with them. I don't know if it's like a fungus or a parasite or something, but there's something about growing black currants in the States. You just can't do it over here, and it's not because of the environment, from what I understand. And so there are no black currant things available in the States. They're imported. They're imported. You can get them imported, but there's just nothing local. Because you can't grow them. It's possible, but I could have sworn I read something about like there was a there was something that comes along with black currants that it's like no, they would be an invasive species if it was over here. It would absolutely destroy something important over here that they can't afford. Which, fair. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the same story for strawberries. Strawberry flavor and strawberries do not taste anything alike. Unless you're Spreckers. If you're Spreckers, then you can have strawberry soda that tastes like strawberries. And the best part about that soda is they put a fox on the bottle. So if you're ever able to get Spreckers sodas, try the strawberry flavor. It's made with strawberry and honey. All of their sodas are sweetened with honey rather than cane sugar or anything else. And they're really cheap. At least they were when my human was up visiting West Virginia. One of his friends. It was... They went to... I forget what the name of the place was. There was a supermarket that was something kind of like a Sam's Club, but I don't think it had a membership. It was just a... I will have to try and ask what the name of that place was, because it's bothering me that I can't remember. But it is essentially a store kind of like a Trader Joe's or Whole Foods or something like that. And they were on special at this price, but it was like maybe $3.50 for a 4-pack. So it was a little less than $1 a bottle. And they may have just been trying to clear out inventory. But even at like $2 a bottle, that would be worth it. Because those are really, really freaking good sodas. Almost all of the ones in the case. There were a couple that were like, not my flavor. Good, but not my flavor. But they had like a ginger ale, and they had a they had all sorts of really fun stuff. And actually, recently we got the vanilla cream soda, which it was honey and vanilla cream, and we had that for the inaugural session of Pathfinder last Saturday, and it was decadent. That was a very enjoyable and well worth the sugar soda. What? Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Interesting. So it's pasted, 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 and pasted. There we go. Now we have 6 refineries making wet concrete. It's 75.555 times 6. 453 per minute. And now we get a merger. Actually, I'll just do it this way. Twos. Yeah. So how does that be? Well, there is something that goes fast enough. It's called a load balancer, modular load balancer. That because it's not a belt. Insane. Thankfully, I'm insane. Yeah. After this, I'm on 4s. Okay. Wet concrete is now on the main bus. And I'm going to drag a Mark IV belt. Come on, target it. For all of these items to the hub. I'm kind of curious to know if making a modular load balancer that long would break the game or not. That's kind of disappointing that it's not easier to switch the directions of the belts. Because it's very easy to do that in Dyson Sphere program. You can do it while they're running. Just target the belt, hit R. It flips it. Yeah. And it doesn't cause the game to crash or any bugs to happen. It's just like, oh, okay, so we're gonna move it the other way, and if two belts that are going the same, hit each other, everything just stops. The belts have, it's like because it's a grid system, each individual belt section has its own inventory. Yeah. No, not this game. I'm talking about, yeah. No, it would be great if it worked here, but it doesn't work here because I don't think each belt section has its own inventory. I think it's probably more like it's moving the objects on the belt. Because in Dyson Sphere program, you can stack items on the belt. You can have one item that represents like 5 or 6 things. They're all the same item, but it's like 5 or 6 of that item in one icon on the belt, because it just stacks them internally, and so the internal belt storage knows what it's got, and so that's why it's just so much easier to reverse it, because all of the belts have their own internal storage for every section of conveyor. So if it can't pass it on to the next one because the next one's going the opposite way, it just stops. It's just like, oh well, I can't move. Because you can also make 2 meet and then pull a belt off of those going in a separate direction, and they will automatically merge. You don't need a merger. So, now we've got the wet concrete going. I really need to do the steel. The only problem is I did a dumb. I don't have enough to actually make it go all the way. I've used too many encased industrial beams. So I'm gonna do something probably even dumber and make the wet concrete belt to 5. Because right now I have more materials to make a 5 belt than I do a 4 belt. Oh, I don't actually have concrete going into the depots. Yeah, but eventually I'm going to need to split off a little thing. A little bitty tiny thing. So, organization will set you free. No. do it this way. Perfect. It doesn't look pretty, but it works. Alright. So I have one concrete being produced. I have concrete going into the depot. I have concrete going on the bus. Everything is working swimmingly. Okay. Alright, and we're going to be doing cased. We're going to be doing molded beams and molded steel pipes. And we're going to do steel rods. And actually, I'm gonna be taking it the other direction. Okay. And we need assemblers for those, I believe. So, and how quickly do they produce steel? 45 and 50 per minute. How much do you think I need to do for the steel beams and steel pipes. $120 on the beams. I can do 120 on beams and pipes just to start off. That's per minute. How many steel ingots are we getting? Okay. Yeah. So I'll just set it to what depots will need. We can. That's true, but I was also kind of hoping to pull off of this same branch off of this for other things that use steel pipes and steel beams. They're used in a lot of stuff. They're used in heavy modular frames. They're used in quick wire stators. We might want to just produce that on site somewhere on the main bus, because we do have the steel and the concrete on the main bus. So I might just make, yeah. Yeah, it's 120% for steel pipes. For the steel beams, to get to 60, I would need 133%. Alright, so I'll just make 2 foundries and do one each. Put it in the depot. We're done. But are you a Mao or are you a Malchrist? Yes. Alright, mark 3 for this. Yes. Let's do 60s. Mark 1 is sufficient. It's more than sufficient. 2 necessary here. No, I don't care. I don't care if it closes. Alright. Organization. Industrial storage. Dimensional depots on top of both of those. Alright. We have that working. Encased industrial beam requires steel beams and concrete. How many encased industrial beams do you want me to make per unit? For the encased industrial beams, how many per minute do you want? No. So far it's only used in heavy modular frames, but I don't know what else it's used in. Yeah? Okay. Okay. So I'll just make the one. Production assembler. encased industrial beam. Okay. It needs power. And now it's powered. Oh. It's not gonna up until the... Yeah, there we go. The depot wasn't full on industrial beams. So it wasn't actually putting any through on the encased industrial beam. Now it is. Steel beams are depoted. The industrial beams are depoted as well. Ooh. I have the steel pipes, the steel beams, and the encased industrial beams going into the depot. So, since my iPhone is low and we are almost near the end of the stream anyway. Oh, hi, Telren. Since we are nearly at the end of the stream anyway, I think I don't want to get started on something big, like modular frames, which is going to be it's going to be a whole big thing. Probably I'm going to do the rest of the depoting over here in this area. This is a nice wide open area that I can pull a bunch of stuff for. Stuff like the Caterium for the wires and the iron for like all of the things, all the iron plates, the reinforced plates, that stuff that needs to go in the depot. We can just depot that right here. And I might also consider if all of those materials can combine to make modular frames, which I think they do, because we do use those in constructing some machines. I'm just going to make a single machine to make modular frames here and depot them. It doesn't matter if I have to wait for them to actually start producing, like I did with the encased industrial beams, because eventually everything will fill up. The whole point is that it will keep our dimensional storage topped off on stuff that's actually used to build other machines in the factory. So we'll do that next time to warm up, and then I will tackle the rest of like stuff like the fused modular frames, which will include also the reinforced and the regular modular frames. I can see what pops off of both of those recipes and see if it's worth putting them as intermediates through the bus so that I can put their products somewhere else. Because I don't want to crowd an area with too many branching paths. I had that problem in Dyson Sphere programming, and they had a really easy solution. Their version of drones. Their version of drones are little tiny, like drones like we have, with like, they're like triangular. They're like a fidget spinner, and they just buzz around really quickly and deliver like 5 items at a time. And you get a swarm of 10 of them every like 3 seconds, going zoom, 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 everywhere to deliver stuff. And that lets you make one machine that does an individual thing and have it distribute to everything that needs it. Because that whole logistics system is like, it's like a cloud system. So you go, alright, this is distributing, these are pulling. And so the distributors will distribute to whichever things are pulling that are close enough. Until they're all full. But can't do that here. We've got to do it a bit more messy, a bit more meticulously. So just curious. Modular frames are used in versatile framework. Litters, Unibasher, heavy modular frames, alternate for flexible framework. So that's really only used for a project part and its upgrade. I could probably build the project part on site. The heavy modular frame is used in the adaptive control unit, and the fused modular frame, again, I could probably make that on site. And then we have the fused modular frame, which is used in pressure conversion cubes, which are used to make good. Okay. So it looks like each individual thing, each individual frame, is only used to make one project part and its upgraded version. Modular frame makes one project part, and the heavy modular frame makes the project part, and the fused modular frame makes the pressure conversion cube, which is used to make pasta. So I can probably do all of that in a single area. It shouldn't be that hard. It's going to look like a lot of spaghetti, but it's going to be okay. No. They're only used in adaptive control units, hover packs, fused modular frames, and a mystery. That's it. So, yeah. I don't know what. I don't know. Looking at the fused, it looks like it's used in two recipes. One of which I don't know, and the other of which is the spaghetti container. Pasta container. Call them pasta bowls. Yes. Oh, interesting. We have a couple of cool alternates in this hard drive. Yeah. Yeah. The heavy encased frame. This produces faster, almost 50% faster. Doesn't require any screws. Instead, it requires more pipes, more, requires more pipes, more frames, more I-beams, and concrete. Just to save on screws. I don't know about that one. 3. So actually, no, it's actually saving us. Each craft of the normal requires 5 I-beams. This requires 10 I-beams for 3. So it's actually 50% more efficient. It's also more efficient on the other parts as well, because it's crafting 3 at a time. This is a great recipe. Yeah, this is wonderful. Alright. So I think we're done. Not that I can see. Okay. So, I'm just going through the active milestones and seeing if there's anything I can yank out. Okay. That made me jump. You removed the hole? Yep. Probably never gonna use them. But I wanted to complete something. Yeah, I mean, we haven't pushed the button this whole session, so I wanted to push the button. Ooh, awesome! Okay, well, let's endeavor to continue to do that. What? Yeah. High five! Can we a high five with these? Only one another incident. Oh no. Alright. Well, let me see if there's anybody I can read real quick. Okay, it looks like FicSit Sly's been up for 10 hours. Come on, man. My 9-year partnerversary. Just a normal day, honest. sly. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and raid for you. She's doing Timberborn. And that's about it. Friday, I am going to be doing the Final Fantasy XIV 7.2 patch update thing. I'll be doing the raids first. So if you don't want to be spoiled for the story, come early for the raids. After I'm done with the raids, I will be streaming the main scenario quest until I'm done. That's why I don't know how long the stream is going to be. It will be however long it takes me to get through all 4 raid fights and the story, which will include a dungeon and a trial, so that might be pretty lengthy. That's why I'm starting at 5 Eastern Time instead of 7, because I don't want to be up until 4 a.m. But that's what I'm up to. And of course, then Sunday we've still got me and Talvren doing Tales of Vesperia. And that's it. We're going over for you now. Have a good night, everybody.